As WrestleMania approaches, certain stories are becoming pretty intense. Others are not so much. But with a card stretching over 2 nights, there is always something for us to look forward to. Some stories may end. Some may begin. Some friendships may be tested. Some may come to an end. Yet some may begin. As a mere mortal of a fan, time is often of the essence, and to take part in the IWC, it is essential that you must have your voice and your opinions heard before the big event, even if it may fall on deaf ears. I will be able to sleep soundly knowing that I have had my say and cemented my thoughts in the casing that is in the World Wide Web. It can be quite lonely sitting here in my little studio, especially when you have a booking epiphany, like perhaps The Rock will somehow use his power to win the title for himself. And there is no one around to tell you that said epiphany is utterly ridiculous and give you the worded slap you need to bring you back down to reality. Sometimes you need a tag team or perhaps a faction to give you the support and grounding that you need. That is why I have reached out to 2 of Twitter's finest wrestling commentators for backup, and they said yes. NGL, that's not gonna lie for anyone not in the loop. I am very excited to announce that on Monday night I took part in a special WrestleMania 40 podcast with none other than Nico from Knockout News and Tim from the Squared Circle Hub. Tim, if that really is his real name, has chosen to keep his identity a mystery, but as an industry insider, I can confirm that he is as handsome as the rumours have implied. Not only are these 2 champions of the Twitter IWC, they are also champions of positivity and respect, which in turn has led me to respect both of these gentlemen. Despite some minor technical issues and finding out after the fact that another match was added to the card during the podcast, I enjoyed our WrestleMania 40 chat, and I hope you do too. Welcome to this very special WrestleMania 40 edition of Wrestling with Mark. With me, Mark. And today I am joined by my 2 new best friends, Nico from Knockout News and Tim from the Squared Circle Hub. Thank you for joining me today, guys.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so it is going to be a big event coming up, WrestleMania 40. So let's just get to know you guys a little bit better. How long have you been a wrestling fan, Nico? And
it's been, so I'm 30 now. It's got to be 23, 24 years. It's quite a while.
What got you into wrestling?
I think it was the little figures that I'd see in the shops that would excite me a little bit. But for me, as I got a little bit older, it was an escape from reality. It's like its own little thing. And without having to worry about everything else, it was nice to just delve into the WWE world and enjoy that a little bit. Escape, basically.
Yeah. And how about yourself, Tim?
So I've been a fan of professional wrestling since I was 4 or 5. My older brother came home with a Bret Hart action figure. And I was like, oh, what is that? And then we ended up going to the store and buying a bunch more.
Similar thing actually with myself is started with the wrestling figures. Do you still have your wrestling figures? Any of your older ones?
No,
The
so
old
funnily
ones?
enough,
No way.
No, I've got a big box in the shed, believe it or not, full of the old
I wish.
the Mattel original ones. Is it
Mhm.
Mattel? Yeah, Mattel, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, because they brought out the new type
Hasbro.
ones as well, haven't they?
Yep.
Hasbro, that's the one. Hasbro, yeah.
Yep.
So I've got a big box of them. I've got, if you can see behind me, I've started to collect the new ones now. So
Yeah.
I've never really grown up, to be honest. Still a child.
I'm
So,
actually really bad. I only won one piece of merch, and that was from Tim. And I'll show you now.
Right.
That was this one, still in the box.
Oh,
Sting.
my
Oh,
buddy.
wow, yes.
Little buddy Sting.
Excellent, yeah.
So that stays on my
Yeah.
desk.
Cool. Yeah. Got a display case for it yet?
No, just sat on my desk. I don't think I'll be allowed one.
Yeah, that'll be the next level, I think, to be honest. So, Nico, what was the motivation behind the Twitter account and the wrestling news website?
So I see a lot of negativity in wrestling. It's just like not regarding wrestling, but fans, and not all of them. It's a small minority of them, like digging into wrestlers or other fans who have certain opinions. And I just thought, why don't I just create a positive and safe platform for wrestling fans and some wrestlers to come on and enjoy wrestling and have opinions, and for other people to understand it and not, throw abuse at each other. I wanted somewhere safe for everyone to talk because life's hard enough as it is. We should all enjoy wrestling. Just be nice.
Yeah.
So that was the background behind it, really.
There does tend to be like quite a lot of negativity in the IWC, doesn't there, from time to time? And how about yourself? Tim? What was the motivation behind starting the Squared Circle Hub?
Well, so I've been on Twitter since probably 2013. For the longest, until about 6-7 weeks ago, it was just a personal account. It's just my first name at last name. I just voiced my opinions. But then kind of to piggyback off of what Nico said, there's just so much negativity. It's just Twitter can be a very, very toxic place. And I felt like I'm in a good financial spot to do giveaways and to bring happiness to one person. It brings a lot of people together, and it just creates happiness in a positive spot in such a ugly and toxic environment on wrestling Twitter. It can be so bad. But yeah, that's pretty much what I started Square Circle Hub just to shed a light of positivity on Twitter.
Tim, do you have any long-term goals for the Twitter account? Do you see yourself, maybe one day being at the press events, things like that?
One day, not right now.
Right now.
Yeah, I give into the shit posting every now and then, just ride someone's ass, not in a harassing type of way, but the bullshit, like the memes, the funny, the silliness of Twitter, wrestling Twitter. I dive too much into that, or I tend to partake in it. So at the moment, no. Long-term goal, yes. I would definitely like to take it a more serious route, Nico.
Yeah, so Nico, and the same question to you, really. Where do you see your news site and Twitter account in the future?
I would obviously love to get media passes for different companies. It's really difficult for me because I'm UK, so you don't really get many pay-per-views over here, which is really tough. But I would love, I'm more than happy to travel to America and go to pay-per-views. Like we've discussed it before, haven't we, Tim, about it? I'm more than happy to go over, and I've got people in America who've gone to shows representing Knockout News. So yeah, that's the future goal.
How have you enjoyed, and this question's open to whoever wants to jump in first, but how have you enjoyed the road to WrestleMania 40 so far? Is there any particular standout moments? I mean, for example, did you both watch the kickoff event where obviously the Rock confronted Cody Rhodes? So have you enjoyed it so far?
So I'm not going to try to jump too far into it, but I feel that The Rock, just his presence in the company has, I don't want to say overshadowed everything else, but I feel like there is a huge separation from like absolute must-see. Everybody's talking about is it's The Rock, the Bloodline, Cody. I feel like that whole universe in itself is overshadowing all of WrestleMania. Not all of it, but most of WrestleMania. I've personally enjoyed it. This is the most I've watched WWE in not my entire life. I'd say the past 2 years. You would never catch me watching every minute of a 3-hour Monday Night Raw in the past 2 years. I would say the past 4 weeks, month, I've watched almost every single minute of Monday Night Raw. Same thing with SmackDown. It's for me right now. It's must see. The road to WrestleMania right now is 100% must watch, no matter what situation. I have a fucking 3-month-old baby, and I'm sacrificing sleep, and I get up every day, every morning at 4:30, 4 a.m., 4:30. And I'm over here sacrificing sleep, going to bed, trying to go to bed at 11 p.m. to watch every minute of Monday Night Raw. That would have never happened 2 years ago. Never.
Mm-hmm. Same for me. I stay up till like 3 o'clock in the morning to watch it. So they must be doing. So
you're
something
watching it live then?
Yeah, watching it live. So they must be doing something right to grab my attention. And I think it's all started since the Royal Rumble. Like the build up since the Royal Rumble has just been absolutely huge. Obviously, Bayley and Cody, it's just unbelievable. But I agree with the overshadowing comment that Tim made, because I'm all into like female wrestling and trying to boost it up and encourage it. And I feel like, especially Rhea and Becky, I think they've been overshadowed quite a lot, and I think that's going to be a good one. But I'm not going to say any more about that yet. I can wait till later.
Yeah, no, we'll get into that later. But yeah, I completely understand, and that's a really good point, Tim, because obviously with The Rock being such a huge star, it must have been quite difficult. Let's take Bayley for example. She's won the Royal Rumble, and she wasn't even on the poster to start with. And I know Bayley's been active on Twitter. She's not afraid to say what she thinks, but I think in a way it's kind of as exciting as it is, and I have myself been more into it this year, I think, than any year that I can remember. But it's almost like with The Rock being around, it has taken away from some of the other talent. It's almost like just too crowded, isn't it? In a way, would you say that's a fair comment?
I agree, massively.
Yeah. Is this likely to be the greatest WrestleMania of all time?
It could be.
No. That's a no, and it could be. Sorry, Nico, you were saying?
No, I just think the way, I'm just worried that with such a big build-up, I just hope it lands on the 2 nights and it's not like a huge build-up and then it's flat once the event actually happens. Yeah. I don't think it will be, but if the event is just as good as the build-up, then I think it's going to be potentially the best one.
Yeah, but you don't think that's the case then, Tim?
So I believe that. So I've been to 2 previous WrestleManias in person, and each time that I've gone, and I don't know if this was just because I was actually going, but I thought to myself in the moment at that time, this card is the best card I've ever seen for WrestleMania. And the two WrestleManias that I went to, if you go look at any, ranking of WrestleManias, they're usually at the lower bottom. I went to Dallas when it was WrestleMania 32. That's when Roman main evented against Triple H. And that historically is frowned upon. It's not frowned upon, but it's not looked at as a great WrestleMania at all. And then I went to WrestleMania 35, which had, I think, like 16 matches in one night. And prior to going, I was like, this card is stacked. There's storylines. That was when Kofi beat Daniel Bryan.
Right. Yeah.
But outside of Daniel Bryan and Kofi, and maybe Brock versus Seth Rollins in the opening match, there was about 14, matches that were subpar. But so to your question, I think that this WrestleMania can be, because I think WWE will more so rely on moments, not matches. Like, for example, I think I 100% believe Stone Cold will show up.
Yeah.
John Cena will show up probably at the same time.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
They're going to go above and beyond, and they're not. I don't want to say the WWE way, but I don't think they're going to focus on the matches. I think they're going to focus on the moments.
Right.
And that's why I don't want to jump ahead to the main event, but if people are speculating and talking now, if Stone Cold and John Cena show up in the main event and help Cody, that's ridiculous. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So it has the potential to be the greatest. And obviously Triple H talked about it today in an interview that this is potentially going to be the biggest WrestleMania ever. I don't think he would lie. I don't think he would just be blowing smoke up our ass. I mean, It has the potential to be star-studded and amazing.
Yeah, I mean, let's say that they're going to aim to try and make it the greatest one every time, aren't they?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
there does, obviously there does feel like, with The Rock being back, after last year with Cody Rhodes not beating Roman Reigns. I mean, I think the odds for Cody to win last year were really high, and of course he didn't win. So that we've gone almost a whole year with very little Roman Cody back and forth, and all of a sudden, it's hit within these last few months. It's got the potential to be one of the most exciting. I mean, I don't want to get too quickly into the Cody Roman situation. We'll save that for a bit later. But I think it's the first one for years that I've been as excited for.
Yeah.
But I could. We'll talk about my predictions and hopefully more later. But it certainly feels like it has the potential to be one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time. I think we should get straight into the matches then. So, like any good PLE, well, I still have to get used to calling it a PLE. I still want to call it a pay-per-view. But like any good PLE, we got to start strong. So I thought the first match that we could tackle is Bayley versus Io Sky. Now, one of you made a suggestion earlier about doing the excitement level score out of 10. So I thought with each match that we cover, we could start with the excitement level score. So Tim, we'll start with you first. Excitement level score out of 10 for Bayley versus Io Sky.
Okay. I'm going to go with a 8.5.
8.5. And how about you, DK?
I'm going to go 7.5. Yeah, 7.5.
Okay, well, I'm going to go for an 8 then. I'll play the middleman there. I'll go right between the two of you. Have you enjoyed the Damage Control story so far?
Yes, very much so. I just love the whole how they've all like grown as a little family, and then like every family, there's always one that takes a turn, and obviously
Yeah.
that was them turning on Bailey. And I think that's set it up really well. But I think since Bailey's left, they seem to have crumbled a little bit. Like I was doing some research, and I think they haven't actually won as Damage Control in something like 23 matches, including house shows. So that's quite a lot without Bailey being part of Damage Control to lose. So yeah, I just think that without Bailey, they're going to struggle going forward.
Yeah, well, Tim, what were your thoughts when Bailey won the Royal Rumble?
Oh, so me and my wife, every PLE or pay-per-view, we try to do predictions, especially for the Royal Rumble. Bailey was my choice. It just made sense. They needed. You could see that it was going to be her versus Io. That made the most sense. I believe that Bailey winning the Rumble, unfortunately, was overshadowed by Cody, and then obviously we'll talk about later about The Rock showing up. I was happy. That's who I wanted to win. That's who I'll let you know right now. That's who I predict to win between her and Io. I want Bailey. I believe we'll get a Seth Rollins type of run where she'll be like a workhorse type of champion. I looked up last night. I think since in Io's title reign, she's only on television or pay-per-view. She's only defended the title, I believe, 4 times. I don't count house shows or any of that shit. No one's gonna lose a title at a house show. That's not gonna happen unless it's Madison Square Garden or whatever. But yeah. So I love Io. I have nothing against her. It's just her title reign has been very lackluster. Yeah, I wanted Bailey from the get-go.
Yeah, I absolutely love Bailey. And all I remember her from has been the hugger. I loved that character she had back then. But yeah, I can't see anything past Bailey winning, really. I'm not sure who's going to come and help her, because obviously Damage Control are probably going to be by Io's side, but it's going to be an interesting match regardless. Yeah, I'd love to see Bailey win it.
Do you see a strong future for Damage Control now? Obviously, once the Bailey storyline comes to its conclusion, do you see them staying together as a faction and carrying on, maybe, or do you think perhaps it might just fizzle out a little bit?
I think that there's still a few more twists and turns left yet. Potential of Dakota Kai turning on the others at WrestleMania, which would be amazing. But I think if Io loses the title to Bailey, I think they're going to crumble quite quickly. As horrible as that is to say, yeah, I think they're going to crumble, fade away.
Yeah, do you think they can survive without Bailey, Tim?
No, not at all. Especially they are a heel faction, which the heels are going to eat themselves alive. They're gonna bicker with each other. Yeah, they're gonna. So another match, and I don't want to jump ahead too far, but I believe Jade and Naomi and Bianca will be victorious. So I feel like that's where you're going to see them start to crumble right there. And then also that sets up future feuds for future PLEs The Saudi show is coming up. Then you'll have SummerSlam. Yeah, they're gonna crumble. I don't know how fast. They might drag it out, but yeah, they're gonna crumble 100%.
Yeah. So should we go for predictions then? We'll start with you, Nico. Who do you see winning
For me, it's got to be Bailey.
and Io Sky?
Got to be Bailey.
Yeah.
I think everything is just pointing in that direction.
Yeah. And Tim, I think you've already said you think Bailey's going to win. Yeah, I think I can see Bailey winning it this year. I mean, I've got no issue with Io Sky. I think she's a very talented performer, but there just hasn't been too much about this title run to be excited about, and I think it's definitely gonna have to see Bailey win this one, 100%. Bianca Belair. Well, this is speculation, I should add, because this hasn't been confirmed yet, has it? But Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill versus Dakota, Asuka, and is it Shuri? Yeah, not great with my pronunciations.
No,
so let's go for the excitement level score out of 10 for this one.
9.3.
9.3.
Yeah, I'm just really excited for Jade Cargill.
Okay, excellent. And yourself, Tim?
I'm gonna go with 7.9.
7.9. I'm excited for the concept of the match. It's going to be a fun match, isn't it? Really. So I'd say probably give this one an 8. You know, I'm quite looking forward to it. Who are the standout stars in this, Tim? Do you think? Who do you?
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah,
Jade and Bianca. It's Jade. All eyes, are going to be on Jade. Maybe a little too much. She might be over criticized, over analyzed. Every little step she's going to do, someone's going to be like, "Oh, she botched." But I think we'll actually get to see her in a match. I know people will say that Royal Rumble was a match, but I mean, Royal Rumble, you see wrestlers fuck off in the corner for like 30 minutes. Like, that's not a match. So to see her in actual match will be nice. I would say it's Jade and Bianca. Those are the two that just pop out right there. The reason I gave it a 7.9 is because I believe that Bianca shouldn't be in a trios match. I believe she should be on in a solo match and a huge storyline. But I felt like they were like, shit, we got Bianca. We don't have her in a feud, like a one-on-one feud. But we can't leave her off the card. So we gotta find something to do with her, So that's why I gave it a 7.9, because I just feel like Bianca, she should have her own match with I don't know who, but she should have a solo match with somebody.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Bianca's definitely one of my favorite stars, and it's funny because she's featured quite heavily on the advertising as well, and to get chucked into this, it just seems a little bit off, really. But again, it's just crowded at the top, isn't it? You've got the two women's titles. No mid-card title to speak of, really. And then the tag team champions tied up with the Kabuki Warriors at the moment. I mean, the speculation is obviously seeing Naomi, like the three-way match. Could this end up being a tag match, do you think, maybe, Nico?
Potentially, but I don't know who they would put in the tag match for the titles out of those three. My thought behind this match is they're going to put Bianca and Jade against each other in the near future. Depending on the result of that match, it could go either way. But I think regardless if they win or not, I think Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will end up facing each other soon. that's just my thought with it anyway. And I think it would be a great match because they're two powerhouses. I think it'd be awesome.
Is this a feud that's likely to continue after Mania? Is it, are we looking at, potential faction territory here for Cargill, Bianca and Naomi, or is it likely just to be the match to get all the stars in on the night, do you think?
I think it could be a mixture of both. Two birds with one stone. I see them keeping these three together. Naomi, because I don't want to say every group it's three. That's, say for example the Shield. Like you had Roman like as your top dog. You had Seth, and this is how WWE kind of booked it. They had Seth as like right under Roman, and then they always had Dean Ambrose, and like for a while like your mid card area. I feel like with this, you have two stars at the top, and then you have, no disrespect to Naomi, she's a former champion, but at the moment you have two stars, and then you have Naomi. So I feel like Naomi's the odd one out. I feel like they're in this they're in like a clusterfuck of like, what do we do with these stars? So I could see it becoming a permanent faction going forward, but then I also do see it as like they're like, fuck, well we have to have them on the card. And then like to piggyback off Nico, like I could see Jade versus Bianca, maybe, I don't know, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, something. So having a faction and having them eventually turn on each other, have one turn on the other, will pay off drastically in the end.
That's the dream match, isn't it? Yeah. Really, Bianca versus Jade.
100%.
Even before, Jade moved over to the WWE, it was the dream match then, wasn't it? And they're absolute powerhouses, aren't they? Physique wise, skill wise. It's taken a while to get Jade Cargill into action, really, hasn't it? Do you think it's just simply a style thing, or do you think that WWE have been holding back potentially for this Mania kind of? She debuted at the Royal Rumble, I believe, didn't she? That was her first match in the Royal Rumble match. But do you think it's just a case of like we're not going to overuse her, overexpose her so early and save her for some of the big events?
Yeah, of course. I think they've held her back for WrestleMania. It builds up the anticipation of watching her wrestle. Obviously big news, her coming from AEW to WWE, and I think they've had so many storylines going on at the moment. If they chucked her in at the wrong time, it might not work. So I think the fact that they've brought her into WrestleMania and they've now created this storyline with Jade and Naomi against Damage Control, I think they've worked it really well.
I think it's a combination of WWE wanted to have her trained. Maybe they thought she was too green when it comes to wrestling, which, obviously it's a different landscape than AEW. I think she debuted 7 months ago. She signed with WWE like 7 months ago. So I think it's a combination of like, it's like the Roman Reigns effect. It's like, we're not going to have you show up all the time. We're going to make you a big deal when you do show up. But 7 months is quite a long time for them to like designate her to a specific brand. So I believe it's a combination of maybe they didn't think she was ready, to do to be like the WWE way. I think they obviously have a different style than AEW, and also in her personal life, I read that her father had passed away,
right.
And that some people were speculating that was a reason why like she wasn't on TV, shoved down your throat. Because what happens usually, not usually, but a lot of times, in the old ways, like when Vince was running it, is there'd be somebody would debut and they would just shove them down your throat constantly, trying to like get them over, trying to prove a point, like, oh, this is the next big thing. And I think the approach with Jade now is, I think it worked. I mean, she's been there for 7 months, and when she just came out on Friday, I was like, oh, holy shit! Like, she looks amazing. She killed it. She came off like a fucking boss. I loved it.
Predictions. I think I think I can guess where this one's going. But Tim, do you want to go first with the prediction?
Yeah. So they don't have a name, but I'm just Naomi, Bianca, and Jade.
Yeah, and Nico.
Same for me. I did actually see a really good faction name the other day. I can't remember who put it on the WWE post, but it was the Glowist Storm, but it was Glow EST Storm, which I thought was quite good. Cool. They've combined it all. So
very
whoever
clever.
that was,
like
well
that. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'm the same. I can't see them losing to to Damage Control, but yeah, I think it should. Hopefully, it should be quite a good match, quite entertaining. Right, so on to the next one then, and this kind of came out of the blue. Really, I wasn't expecting this at all, but Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Excitement levels score, starting with you, Tim.
Oh, this is what I talked about earlier. I don't give a shit about this match. No, look, the people in it. Yeah, of course. I like them. I love Rey Mysterio. I have my entire life. Dragon Lee, Dominic, I like him. But I don't. We did this. Didn't we do this shit last year with Dominic and Ray?
Yeah.
I get like trying to like just fucking cut off from the whole dad son shit. Just fucking, I don't know. Have Dominic go over, beat the fuck out of his dad. I could care less about this match. Yeah. It'll be athletic. It'll be nice and entertaining, but I could care less.
Yeah. What do you think then, Nico?
Yeah, I'm not massively excited for this one, but the only thing I can think of is the reasoning behind doing this match is if Ray and Dragon Lee beat them, is Rhea going to be disappointed in Dom? And is that going to start tickling away at the Judgment Day? If Rhea starts getting annoyed at Dominic, is the Judgment Day going to start to crumble? And then it leads into a whole other story then. So
it's kind of a bit of a strange one though, isn't it? Because it kind of like we're looking at the faction game again, and Dominic Mysterio obviously going up against the LWO, and I can't even remember the name of the other faction. It's that exciting. Yeah, I mean, where is he? Why is Dominic Mysterio even involved? I mean,
no idea. Zero.
It doesn't make any sense, really. No. I mean, I'm the same. I love Ray. I think Dominic's been amazing. But I'm not really all that familiar with Dragon Lee, to be honest. I mean, he seems good. Santos Escobar again. They're all good, but there's nothing really that exciting about this match at all, and it just doesn't seem to make any sense.
Yeah, I think WWE, they like to cater to all fandoms, because this right here, you're gonna have a lucha libre fucking parade. It's gonna be high flying flips, your hurricanranas. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be entertaining. But I feel like this is something you could just throw on a Friday Night SmackDown. Like, this is not WrestleMania. To me, this is not WrestleMania worthy.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair comment. So should we just wrap this one up then with a prediction? There
Yeah.
don't seem to be much more we can say about it. Nico, who do you think, or do you even care enough to comment?
I will say I think Ray and Dragon Lee are going to win it. But what I will
Yeah.
say really quickly is there's so many other superstars that haven't had the opportunity at the moment to go to WrestleMania. I just feel like Tim was saying, the story's been thrown together. I feel like there could have been better feuds to put together for WrestleMania. But I love all of them. So, but yeah, I'm not massively excited, but I do think Ray and Dragon Lee will win it.
I agree. The only way I want Dominic in this situation for him to get a win at WrestleMania is to win over his dad. That's it. Not in some bullshit tag match. Yeah, I could care less. But yeah, I think Ray and Dragon Lee, they'll win. They want Dragon Lee to look nice, look good. So yeah, it's Ray and Dragon Lee.
Yeah, no, I agree with that as well. I think that's definitely what the outcome I will expect. Right, moving on then. Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship belt. Excitement level score from 10. Nico, do you want to go first?
I'm going to go with a 7. I'm not massively excited for this match. Don't get me wrong, Logan Paul is really good at what he does, considering he's had no experience before. He's really good, but I feel like it just doesn't give me the excitement that the others do.
Yeah, I'd give it a 7 as well. I think that just looking at this, it just looks weird on paper. I think that they know Logan and Kevin will do something absolutely fucking crazy. I guarantee you, like a moment of the night, it will come out of this match. Somebody's going to jump off of something. Somebody's going to do something crazy. Randy Orton and it just kind of just like, I'm like, it just doesn't, I don't know. And I think that Logan, I feel like the only reason Logan honestly has that title is because of his exposure, you know, his influence, his name, his brand, which is good. I mean, from that standpoint, but yeah, I don't know. It's a weird match.
Yeah, I think it feels a little bit like, it's crowded at the top.
Yeah.
In the WWE at the moment. You've got Randy Orton, former world champion. You've got Kevin Owens, former world champion. And you've got Logan Paul. And it's like you said, they're throwing him out there because his brand, his reach to potential new fan bases. And I suppose you've got to put him with somebody that can handle their own. And I mean, his sort of mini feud with Kevin Owens has been quite entertaining, but it's just a bit of an odd setup, really, isn't it? I don't know what to think about Logan Paul. I mean, he's excellent in the ring, but at the same time, I don't particularly like him as a character. Do you think perhaps, Randy Orton has got another world title running him at any point? And the same with Kevin Owens, really. Do you think from now on we're sort of going to see them characters around the middle of the card? Or do you think perhaps we could see Randy or Kevin win another title?
That's a tough one. What I would love to see is Kevin Owens and Randy Orton team up and go for the tag titles. That's what I would love to see.
Right.
Yeah. But I think Randy has got another run in him, but there's so many talented superstars. Like, he's been champion before, he's wrestled for so long. Is it now time for somebody else to step up to the plate and take their chance?
I think Randy, 100%. He should not be anywhere near a mid card. The lowest I would say, it'd be nice to see him in a tag team like when he was with Riddle. I liked it. Obviously, Randy got hurt and was out for a while. But I mean, the dude came back fucking jacked.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't he?
Like, what the hell happened? He was already jacked. But I think so. I don't want to. I think that, and I tweeted this earlier. I think Randy would be a perfect. He'd be in a feud with somebody we will talk about later. He would be a perfect fit for that person. But yeah, Randy should not be anywhere. I think they just wanted to like slot him into this mid card, kind of to get knock the rust off because he was off for quite a while. I think they wanted just to get like Randy, like back in the picture. Get him going with their crowd. Obviously keep him over, and I think he's gonna. I don't think he's winning. And Kevin Owens, I don't believe Kevin Owens will be. I don't think Kevin Owens will go above mid card after this point. Kevin Owens is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I've met him when we went to WrestleMania in 2019. Me and my wife got to meet him. I don't see him being anywhere. I don't see him ever holding a world title again in WWE. I don't see that happening. But Randy Orton, I feel like that's the only spot for Randy Orton.
Yeah. I mean, Randy Orton just seems like he's having fun at the moment, though, doesn't
That's
he?
it, yeah. Fun.
I mean, I'm not quite sure of how old he is, but I don't. It's an odd placing for him, really, isn't it? Being around the mid card, but again, with it so crowded at the top at the moment, then there really isn't much else you can expect from him. I mean, at least he's at WrestleMania, I guess, and should be grateful for that, I suppose. But so let's go for a prediction on this then. Do you see Logan Paul losing the title, Nico?
No, I think he's going to retain. Unfortunately, I would love to see one of the other two win it, but no, I think Logan's going to retain.
No, he's 100% retaining. He's not losing that shit. SummerSlam is going to be in Cleveland. He claims so first off, he claims he's from Cleveland. He's not from Cleveland.
Right.
But with SummerSlam being in his quote unquote hometown, they're going to want some sort of title around his waist. It just makes it that more important. He's definitely not losing. It's not happening. Yeah.
No, I don't see him losing either, to be honest. I think they'll keep him I think he'll leave as the United States champion. It's just another part-time champion, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, so on to the next one. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Is LA Knight ever going to be a champion? What do you think, Tim?
A champion? Just any in like
a
WWE?
Champion? Yeah,
I
mean,
yeah, he'll be a
world
champion eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, do you think so, Nico?
Yeah, I agree. Definitely, he's come too far to not go all the way now.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to hope so, but I really saw LA Knight versus Logan Paul. I thought that was going to be the logical match, and out of nowhere it seems to be AJ Styles. I mean, talking about another comeback coming super jacked. I think he's been going to the same gym as Randy Orton, no doubt.
Yeah, the same doctor.
Same doctor, more like. Yeah, no, I agree with that. What are your thoughts on AJ Styles' heel turn, Nico?
I don't like it. I just feel really sorry for Michin because they were all like a nice little faction together with Gallows and Anderson and Michin, and then he just took a turn and it's just dropped everyone else. and I'm a big fan of Michin. So to see him like sort of palm her off, I didn't like that. Didn't like it.
What do you think, Tim?
Love it. Okay. AJ Styles can only be a heel in my book. Okay. I'm a huge Bullet Club mark. AJ Styles being that fucking, he has the soccer mom haircut, but he's still a badass dude. Like, he will fuck you up. And then he comes back jacked to the gills. To me, AJ, I can only see AJ Styles as a heel. That babyface bullshit with AJ, it's all right. He has to have the right opponent to come off as a genuine or a legit babyface. But that dude's a heel. Like I said, the whole Bullet Club shit, he just needs to fuck people up. The match, I don't mean this with any disrespect, but if you're talking about an in-ring ability, AJ Styles and LA Knight and just wrestling in general, AJ is light years above LA Knight, in my opinion. Now, obviously, who's the most over? LA. LA might be one of the most over people in all of wrestling. But yeah, AJ has to be the heel. Has to be a heel, not a babyface. I love it.
Predictions then. What do you think, Tim? I sense that you may be going with AJ Styles for the win with this one.
No. So it's not what I want, but I know what WWE wants, and they want there's sometimes where like they swerve you, like you're like, oh, they're definitely like LA Knight's definitely like I thought LA Knight was going to be in the U.S. title match for WrestleMania, and no. So I think I predict LA Knight will win. I don't want him to, but that's my prediction.
I want LA Knight to win, so yeah, I think he's going to win it. But I would like to have seen a 6-man match for the United States title with LA Knight, AJ Styles in there, and then another one, maybe Ricochet, because I absolutely love Ricochet. I would love those 6 to have been in that title match and just go all out, because I want another moment like last year's Royal Rumble.
I think LA Knight for the win on this one. I've fully jumped on the LA Knight bandwagon this year. I didn't get him before, to be honest. When the first rise in popularity started, I didn't really get it. But the more I was exposed to him, the more I started to like him. And I even went to the lengths of buying one of his T-shirts now. So I suppose I could call myself a fan. But yeah, I think LA Knight will win. Should be a pretty good match, I hope. But yeah, LA Knight definitely.
Yeah.
Right. This is the next. Yeah. The next one is Gunther versus Sami Zayn. Yeah. Okay. Just for that reaction, I'm gonna go straight to you, Tim, for this one. Excitement level score?
This is hard because match quality, if you just ask match quality, I would say 9. Now, if you based off of just the feud or matchup, I'm going to give it I love Sammy, okay? Like, everyone loves Sammy, right? But no, I don't want this. I don't want it. I can't get everything I want, but I do not want this. Okay. So overall, I will give it excitement level. I'll say a 6, and that's just, I feel like Gunther, he carries it. It's hard, man. It's the wrong opponent. And spoiler alert, if Sammy wins this shit, like clean, I'd be extremely pissed. Like, there's no way this dude is ending that title reign clean. There's zero fucking way. Zero way.
Yeah, I'd say I love Sami Zayn. I think he's great. I've always been a fan of his, but I do feel like the wrong person is in that match against Gunther. Um, I think it should have been Chad Gable. That's what I think. And just watching it build up, I felt really sorry for him. But yeah, definitely should have been Chad Gable. But we don't write the script, do we? Unfortunately.
No, that's true. Do you see Gunther losing the belt at any point though? I mean, I can almost see him making it past Mania, going into the middle of the ring and say, right, I've done everything I can with it. Here's the belt back. I'm going for the world title. I can't see Sami Zayn taking the belt from him. I can see like maybe a tournament for the vacant title. But yeah, where do you think then Chad Gable will come into this? Because he's been, almost coaching, like mentoring Sammy in the last few weeks. Do you think he could have some part to play in the match, Nico?
It's a really tough one. He could, but I don't know whether he's going to turn on Sammy in the hope that he's going to get a match against Gunther. But one thing I will say is that I really would like to see Gunther have an open challenge if he wins. So just stand in the middle of the ring, say, whoever wants it comes and get it. I would love to see, is it Ilja Dragunov from NXT? I would love to see him come and challenge him for the title. Because I know they've had spats before, and I want to see it on WWE. But then there's so many wrestlers that could take that spot.
What do you think, Tim? Is there anyone in particular that you'd like to see dethrone Gunther?
No.
No.
I feel like he's in that weird spot where it's like he's just done. He's beaten everybody. Everyone they've thrown at him, they're not on his level. Which is a good thing for him, I guess. It makes him look like, a fucking beast, unbeatable. The whole rumored thing that it was supposed to be him versus Brock Lesnar before all the legal bullshit happened, that right there is fucking money. That right there would have been it. Well, if there was no Brock involvement, Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, man, that would have been my main event. That would have been bonkers. It has to be somebody like that on that level that, I'm like, okay, I'm all for this. Chad Gable, I was getting there. I'm like, okay, I'm all for this, but they fucking pulled the rug from out under us. I'm looking up I look on the roster. I don't see anybody. I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, there's one way they could take the title off of him, and that would be to Sammy to do a full force heel turn. He would have to absolutely cheat somehow. Him and Chad just somehow absolutely just cheat their fucking way, some bloodline type shit. That's the only way I see it. And then that also makes Gunther look strong. It doesn't make him look weak. If Sammy beats him clean in the ring, it's not going to make him look weak, but it kind of like, I don't know. It looks better if Sammy has to cheat to win, but I don't see them doing that. I don't see them doing that. So I have no clue what they're going to do, but Gunther needs to win 100%.
Yeah. I think if you're going to, I mean, it seems like the natural progression for Gunther to be challenging for the world title pretty soon.
Yeah. 100%.
And if, like you say, if they defeat him, it kind of ruins the threat of the character, doesn't it? Especially not trying to take away from Sami Zayn at all, because I'm a big fan of Sami as well. But to have him beat you, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I can see Gable. I could have seen Gable doing it because obviously he has that athletic wrestling background. Obviously, they're all wrestlers, aren't they? That's a bit of a stupid thing to say, but yeah, I think Gunther's got to win personally. I think that's the prediction across the board. Is it a win for Gunther?
Yeah.
A 6-pack tag team ladder match. What do you think? It's got the potential to be a good match, big showcase match, isn't it? Really. How do you think the championship run for the Judgment Day has been so far? Do you think it's potentially like stagnated a little bit, Tim?
Yes, 100%. I feel like the tag team division for WWE in general has been stagnant for as long as I can remember. What they like to do is they like to put these titles on people and they're just title holders. They just hold the titles. WWE has all the talent in the world on the roster. And I feel like they put their tag teams on the back burner. They're like, hey, like, here, Finn Balor, we need you to do this. Just hold these titles. Judgment Day, you guys are like one of the most over factions in all wrestling. You guys need these titles. I don't know. It's extremely stagnant.
It's been on like the top level guys, hasn't it? But there is no real strong kind of tag team division at all, is there, Nico? Do you think there are any particular standout teams at the moment?
For me, the two teams that I like, DIY, I think they're great. I think that just the charisma they bring is amazing. And I also like the Creed brothers. I just think they're beasts. They've come up from nothing really, and they're just so physically strong. I just think they deserve an opportunity. And I've always liked the New Day as well. Like the New Day are great. I just miss Big E. And I have a feeling that Big E might potentially make an appearance at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see Big E in some form. I mean, he was there with the kickoff event doing I think it was like commentary, wasn't he, or like talking. So I don't think we're going to see him in the ring anytime soon. No. But do you think? I mean, how do you feel about R-Truth and the Miz of late? I mean, R-Truth has been comedy gold, but I mean, are they a serious threat to take the titles from the Judgment Day? Do you think, Tim?
I don't think they are, but I can see the booking of WWE and going, we can relate it to Judgment Day. We can tie it in there, and everyone loves R-Truth. And Miz is Miz. He's one of the hardest workers, like him or not. I mean, he's one of the most veteran guys on that roster. He'll job to anybody. He'll do anything they ask. I can see them doing it for nostalgic reasons and pure comedy. Like I said, WWE likes to put the tag team titles like on the back burner. And I mean, if it's on the back burner, it might as well be entertaining, might as well be funny. So I can see them. I can see them winning. Do I want them to win? Hell no. But I could see WWE pulling the trigger and having them win.
So let's go for predictions then. Who do you think is going to win then, Tim?
I will say DIY.
DIY. Okay, Nico, what are your thoughts?
I agree. But I will say that if R-Truth and The Miz win, I think the Judgment Day is over.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Part of me thinks that they might retain because I think, your point about the Judgment Day being over. What's going on with the Money in the Bank briefcase situation, do you think?
They don't know.
They don't know, do they?
Don't know. No. There's too many names at the dude. There's too many names at the top. And that's with CM Punk being hurt and out. Sorry, like Damian Priest, sorry, like you did your thing on the indies. You made your way to NXT and then WWE. It's like, congratulations. But there's too many big names at the top, dude. I'm sorry. I don't know the record of Money in the Bank cash-ins that were successful. I don't believe it's that many in recent memory. Unless it's like what Big E. I can't name another memorable one of recent time. And that he can cash in on any title, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, what do you think? There's a possibility that he could cash in on Gunther?
Yeah. That's another way for them to like get the title off him without him looking weak. Is just have after a long hard match with Sammy, he's fucking tired, he's beat, he's laying there in the ring, typical. You see Damian Priest run down, hand the briefcase over, and then he just takes advantage of the situation. I could see that happening because then technically he didn't lose clean. I mean, he lost, but he was already defeated or already hurt. So I don't know. That's one way.
Yeah, I kind of I don't. It doesn't make logical sense, though, does it? I don't think. No. If you think about it, if we've won the Money in the Bank briefcase, it was like Austin Theory, wasn't it? Going after. Was it the United States Championship that he went after in the end?
Yeah.
And it just, when you've got the opportunity to, I know in Austin Theory did attempt several times to get the world title, but it just doesn't make a logical sense. I feel like they've backed themselves into a corner with Damian Priest, and they're not really sure what to do now. But I can see, I can see if they are to lose the tag titles, then it could be the end for the Judgment Day as well. I think you might be right with that, Nico. Okay, so let's go moving on to Uso versus Uso. Jay versus Jimmy. Is it yeet or no yeet? Excitement level score, please, Nico.
8.5, and I am yeet. Team yeet.
Okay, yeet. How about you, Tim?
I am team yeet. And I would give it probably an 8.
An 8, yeah. I think that I'm a 7.5 on this one. After obviously being the tag team for so long, who do you think's been the most successful out of the tag team split, Nico? Do you think it's fair to compare them, or?
I wouldn't say it's not fair. But I think that Jim has been so swallowed up by the bloodline situation, and Jay's just been so much more on the spotlight. And with his entrance at the moment with Pat McAfee doing the dance, I think there's been so much more put onto Jay than there has Jimmy, because he's just been so overshadowed. But I'm happy with that because I absolutely love Jay. So.
Yeah, no, he is very cool. How about yourself, Tim? Do you think perhaps there's been a particular standout character from the initial kind of bloodline split? Well, obviously not. The whole thing hasn't split, but with the Usos breaking up, do you think perhaps there's been a standout star in all of this?
Yeah, 100% Jay. I'm sure if you ran a Twitter poll, I would say probably 85% or more would say Jay. I think the other 15% would just say Jimmy because of the bloodline.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely Jay. It's Jay all day. Like it's
Okay, so so Tim, yeet or no yeet?
So this isn't what I want. Again, this is what I'm going to predict happens. I think Jimmy wins. I saw a stat that said, I think there's been 2 or 3 matches that had at WrestleMania that have been brother versus brother, and the heel has won every single one.
Right.
I also think they want the bloodline to look strong going into the main event for Cody versus Roman. I think if Jimmy loses, it kind of like diminishes their whole aura. So I think Jimmy wins. I want Jay, but I think Jimmy wins.
Right. Okay, and you agree with that then, Nico, as well?
Yeah, I think exact same thing. One thing I have found though is it is the third time, like you said, third time brother versus brother WrestleMania. So Owen and Bret Hart was, I think it was WrestleMania 10. Then you had the Hardy
Yeah.
brothers 25, and this is 40. So is it 15 years between each one?
Increments, yeah.
So it'd be very interesting. But yeah, I think Jimmy will win it.
I can see Jay winning it. I don't know. I have a feeling, like, as daft as it sounds, I feel like if Jay wins, then we could see. I'll come back to this later because it's an absolute ridiculous theory, but I'll come back to this that later. But yeah, I can. I'm going to go Yeet. I think Jay is going to win this,
Right.
but I could be wrong. Yeah, we'll definitely see. Shall we move on then to the Women's World Championship? Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. Excitement level score, please, Nico.
I like this match. I'm going to go for 8.8.
8.8. Okay, what about you, Tim?
I got 8.5.
Okay, I'm going for a 9 on this one because I think this has the potential to be a pretty good match. Has anybody read Becky's book yet?
Just started.
No.
Have you started it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Tim, is Rhea Ripley likely to lose the title at any point soon?
No. So if I was booking it, it would be completely different. I think they want to aim in that Roman Reigns type of era where super long title reign. They're going to draw it out as long as they can. Have her, at the major PLEs, they're going to have her just run through every other female superstar. I don't think she's going to lose. I mean, I'm iffy on this on who I want to win, but I don't think WWE is gonna have her lose. I think today marks a full year since she's won the title.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Like to the day.
Yeah. So, do you see a title change with this one, Nico?
I don't think it'll be in this match. I absolutely love both of them. I think they're both great. But I think WWE would be silly to let her lose at this stage, the way she's going, and especially with the amount of support she's got on social media. Like, her fan base is huge. And I just think they would face a lot of backlash if she dropped the title at WrestleMania. So I can't see it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you both on that. And that I love Becky Lynch. I think she's great. But there is just something of different level with Rhea Ripley. She's just on a different level. And I just can't see her losing the title now. That the only really sort of like believable people that would beat her are the likes of Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill. She's just so strong looking, isn't she? And with the greatest of respect to Becky Lynch, she's a little dot compared to Rhea Ripley, and it's just not as believable. I know she's got the experience, but yeah, I can't see Becky winning this one. I don't think. I think that's agreed across the board then that Rhea Ripley. Yeah, that's a Rhea Ripley for the win on that one then. Okay, so the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Excitement level score Tim?
I'm going to put this at a 9.
I agree. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Nico, what are your thoughts on Seth Rollins' run as champion? And I don't like saying this like disrespectfully, but is it still kind of a second-rate title compared to Roman's?
It shouldn't be, but I think it's been portrayed that way. I feel like change is needed now with that. I mean, Seth is like great. I absolutely love Seth, and he's funny, and he's good in the ring. But I feel like it's done its course now, and Drew has like taken over, so to speak. He's like his social media presence is just outstanding. Like some of the stuff he puts up is just incredible. He's a beast in the ring, and he just carries storylines. I think he's just a all rounder. And I'm part Scottish, so I've got to back Drew all the way with that. But yeah, Drew has to take it away from Seth. I think Seth's done his time.
Yeah, it's time. I think Seth's entire title run has been good. Obviously, prior to him getting hurt, he made it the workhorse title, I would say. And yeah, it 100%. I still believe it's the quote unquote second place title. When they had that WrestleMania kickoff show with The Rock and Seth and Roman and Cody, they completely just shit on Seth and his title. Like for like the past month, they just completely just shit on him. Like, oh, like you're number 2. Like I get they wanted to put a title on a main star like Seth Rollins, but once they announced that title is being created, I'm like, it's just second place. It is. It's great that he was a workhorse champion, but I mean, I think the reign has run its course. I think Seth's character has also run his course. And also Drew is like the hottest thing going in all professional wrestling right now. I think that his social media presence is the best by far. I think Drew knows that the whole CM Punk fan base is pretty divided. It's either you love him. There's people that like him, but mostly it's either you love him or you hate him. And I think Drew 1,000% knows what he's doing on social media when it comes to CM Punk. And I think, spoiler alert, I think Drew wins. And I think we're going to get CM Punk and Drew at SummerSlam. The way CM Punk's tricep injury has like rehabbed, it's looking like it's going to be healed sooner than later, or he'll be back sooner than later. So I'm thinking SummerSlam, you have CM Punk and Drew. That makes perfect sense. They're not gonna do it at a Saudi show or just some regular PLE. I think they're gonna want to have. To me, SummerSlam is the second biggest overall pay-per-view. Royal Rumble is right up there. But I think CM Punk versus Drew is the big picture, and to get to that big picture, they need to take it off of Seth.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, what kind of role do you expect? Well, what we can expect from CM Punk? Obviously, there's talk of him being on the commentary. Do you think he could get involved in the match at all, Nico?
Potentially. I'm not sure to what extent because of his injury, but I think he's got a few tricks up his sleeve that he might pull during the match. But I also wouldn't rule out anybody else getting involved either. I'm not sure who, but I think there's more than meets the eye with that match. It's not just going to be Seth versus Drew, I don't think. I think somebody else will get involved. Whether that's CM Punk or somebody else, I'm not sure. I
remember when he announced he had the injury. I think it was on a Raw. And I don't know who was in the ring with him. It might have been Drew. But I remember CM Punk got physical before he was like quote unquote written off. He took a bump, like he got like shoved down or something. And I remember watching it and I was like, oh, is he really actually hurt? But then they obviously confirmed it that he was hurt and he had surgery. But yeah, so I can definitely see him getting physical. I think he also hinted at it in a recent interview. I saw it on Twitter that like him getting physical was not out of the picture. If it's just like a little bump here and there, sure. I mean, he's a professional wrestler. He knows how to fall.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think he gets physical.
Do you think we could potentially see some bloodline involvement in this match? Obviously, with Seth so heavily involved with the Roman Rock Cody situation, do you think we could see, maybe the Rock getting involved at some point, or is that unlikely? Do you think at this stage?
I think because they've both got big matches, obviously the tag team match and then the match on night 2, I think it would be silly if they got involved in that as well, because that would just take away the actual championship match. But you just don't know the way it's going at the moment. Anybody could come down from the bloodline, but yeah, I think it would be silly if they put the bloodline interfering in that match.
So, general predictions then, Tim. What do you expect? Do you think we'll have a new champion at the end of this?
Yeah, I see Drew. I see Drew winning it, and then I see him just slowly transitioning to the whole CM Punk feud. It just makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not shitting on CM Punk for no reason.
Yeah. There's been some pretty epic trolling, hasn't it, on the part of Drew McIntyre. And are you thinking this along the same lines then, Nico?
Yeah, Drew for the win for me. I can't see anything other than that.
I'd quite like to see Drew win, just to get that WrestleMania moment in front of a crowd that he didn't get. It's 36, wasn't it? So yeah, I think I agree with all of you there. I think we're likely to see a new heavyweight champion. So yeah, that moves us on to the next one then, which is obviously the tag match. I guess is the logical one to do next, isn't it? So that's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. Excitement level score, please, Tim.
9.
And how about you, Nico?
8.5.
Okay, I'm going for a 10 on this one.
Ooh.
I'm super excited for this match. What are your thoughts on The Rock's heel turn recently? I'll open that one up to you first, Nico.
I think it's probably up there with his best work he's ever done in WWE. He's actually quite scary, the way his character's been portrayed. And the thing he did the other day to Cody in the parking lot, the car park, was just like, the feud is unbelievable that's been created from him. And his comeback was outstanding as well. And also to add on to that, his entrance into the ring, like the lightning, is just... I think everything he's doing at the moment is spot on. And as much as I don't like heels, I think he's great.
I genuinely feel this is probably the greatest thing that has happened in WWE since, WrestleMania fucking 17. Yeah. What was it, 23 years ago?
Yeah.
This is insane. This is, especially with them heading to Netflix next year. I don't know if they stated or not if there is going to be like the whole PG-13 bullshit. No. This right here. I posted this on Twitter. Last week I said something to the extent of, has The Rock's short return so far, will it be more impactful than Roman Reigns' entire title reign the past, 3 years, whatever it's been? I genuinely, in my heart of hearts, believe that The Rock's return and the little amount that he has done in this little amount of time is going to forever change the path of WWE. I genuinely feel, when The Rock tweeted the other day, or he posted some shit, he said, wrestling is cool now. He's not lying. Who doesn't want to watch the biggest, like him or not, he's the biggest actor in the entire world. Who doesn't want to see him? I don't care how much a ticket would be. If Raw is anywhere, if Monday Night Raw or SmackDown is anywhere near me, 2 hours, 3 hours, that's worth the drive for me. He's making it must see. This heel turn, the whole babyface. Well, I don't like. Babyfaces are cool, okay, but heels, man, heels make you feel something. If they piss you off, they're doing a good job. And The Rock, when he came out the whole babyface bullshit, nobody believes that, dude. We don't want that shit, man. We don't want that. You're from the Attitude Era, like. This isn't you. You're not John Cena, okay? Like, he's a heel. Like the whole, like earlier when I said AJ Styles can only be a heel, that's The Rock, but times 1,000, okay? I genuinely feel that this will forever, in a positive way, affect WWE more than Roman Reigns, John Cena, Randy Orton, Stone Cold. Stone Cold's pretty monumental. But in the past 20 years, I think this is the most Rock turning heel, and the moments that we're having right now are more beneficial to WWE than anything in the last 20 years. That's how important this is. If he was a babyface, we'd be singing a whole different story.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty. I mean, he has been pretty scary.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's literally.
It literally, you know, like he's so huge at the moment as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's another thing. When they had the kickoff show for WrestleMania in Vegas, I remember after he slapped Cody, and like they went backstage and they showed Roman and Rock they showed The Rock cussing out Triple H. Right behind The Rock was Roman, and physically Roman looked like his little cousin. Like his little brother.
Yeah.
Like his aura came off first. So Roman had this aura before Rock showing up was like almighty. This is the top guy of professional wrestling. He's the guy, number one guy. The Rock shows up like that. Hasn't even had a match. He hasn't had a real match in I don't even know how long. What, 2013? The one with Eric Rowan at WrestleMania 32 doesn't count. That was like 6 seconds. That doesn't count.
Yeah, that doesn't count. No.
But he hasn't even had one match. Last week, before he beat the shit out of Cody, his music hit. The crowd erupted, right? He came out. He didn't say one word. He had everybody in the palm of his hands. He had people cheering for him and people booing him. He didn't have to say one word. It's perfect. It's perfection.
Yeah, it is. It's absolute gold at the moment, really, isn't it? Do you think there's an element of him kind of overshadowing Roman Reigns completely? I mean,
100%.
Yeah, it's he seems like a bit of a bit player in all of this at the moment. And obviously he's got the match against Cody, but all the build-up has been the rivalry between Cody and The Rock. And I suppose this is kind of like, and it's a controversial topic because I understand, you know, Roman's position and where he is, but he's never there. And that's the reality of it. And The Rock's been back for a few weeks, really. That's all it really is. And he's already overshadowed your world champion. You know, I don't see where this. Well, we'll obviously move on to the predictions of the final match later, but I could almost see a Cody Rock feud in the future, and Roman Reigns won't be relevant to this at all, I don't think.
Yeah.
With Seth Rollins in here, because we don't forget Seth Rollins is in this match too, and obviously Roman Reigns. Can you foresee Seth Rollins turning on Cody Rhodes at all?
I'm not quite sure. I think that The Rock and Roman are going to win the match, the tag team match, potentially there might be a chance of Seth turning on Cody, but failing in their one-on-one match. But I don't know. It depends if he loses to Drew. It's a really tough one. There's so many things to take into account regarding that.
Well, I think we can safely assume that this is most likely to be the headline of night one. So we won't actually know the outcome of. Theoretically, we wouldn't know the outcome of Seth and Drew till the next night. I have a kind of idea that might be the opener, and obviously Cody versus Roman closing it. But I don't see the point of Seth turning on Cody at the moment. It wouldn't, with The Rock in his badass heel mode, there's no need to add that extra layer there. I can't see them wanting to put Cody against Seth for a, conflict anytime soon. Can you, Tim? Do you think perhaps we could see Seth turning on Cody?
I mean, that's a possibility. I feel like that crossed my mind, but then I start to say, like, that's the easy way out. Like, that's the most predictable thing. I don't know. I think that I genuinely feel this is probably the most conflicted I've felt about any of the matches, because there's so many ways that this can go. I don't think Seth turns. I don't think Seth turns on Cody. I don't think that's why Cody. I don't think that's why they will lose this match.
So should we go in for the predictions then? I think. Well, Tim, obviously you think it's a win for The Rock and Roman.
Yeah, but I see this as I see The Rock pinning Cody. I don't see Seth getting pinned. I see The Rock pinning Cody, and kind of like that gives them substance. So say Cody does end up winning. That gives them ammunition to say, Rock can say, I pinned your bitch ass. I'm the final boss. That whole shtick. So say hypothetically Cody does beat Roman, Rock can hold it over Cody's head. I pinned you. So I can see them go in that direction. I think Rock and Roman win, but I'm going to say there will be some animosity between Roman and Rock. I think they will kind of want to be like, I want to be the one who pins Cody. And I can see them butting heads. And I can see The Rock saying, no. I'm the final boss. I'm the one who pins Cody. And I think that's where you start to see some little I think you start to see some cracks where I think that leads to what happens on night 2. But yeah, I see Cody taking the pin. I don't see Seth turning.
Right. Nico, do you how do you see this playing out?
The same sort of thing as Tim's been really. I think The Rock and Roman will win, and I think that's going to take it into night 2 with the Roman Cody match. I think it's all leading up to that moment. This has been going on for so long. Cody finishing the story, etc. I think as much as this is going to be an amazing match, this is sort of irrelevant, as bad as that is to say, but this is sort of an irrelevant match regarding the main event in night 2. I think that this is just a lead up to it, and a few things will happen in this match which is going to decide the outcome on night 2.
I think it kind of makes sense for The Rock and Roman to win this, obviously, to set up the Bloodline Rules match. And speaking of which, I suppose we should move on to that. That ties in quite nicely, doesn't it? Excitement level score for Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, number 2. What do you think, Nico? What's the excitement level for this?
I'm going for a 10.
A 10. And how about you, Tim?
I'll give it a 9.75.
A 9.75. Is it time for Cody to finish his story? That's the big question, Tim.
Fuck your story.
Yep. I thought it was time last year.
Yeah.
The man literally left, went and killed it on the Indies, went to Japan, killed it, started a whole nother company. I mean, what fucking more to the story is there?
Mm.
And then he comes back last year, dude. Last year, what wasn't the betting odds for like Cody to win? Like, he was the favorite by far.
Mm.
And then I remember him taking the pin. I'm like, as soon as I saw Solo pop up and do the fucking Samoan, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Again.
Like, how are we doing this shit?
Yeah.
And then hearing 1, 2, 3, I was like, okay, well, maybe they'll have Cody win at SummerSlam, but I don't see Roman dropping the title at SummerSlam.
No.
So they made it last this entire year. Man, it's weird. It changes day by day. I think Cody finishes the story, but just The Rock coming back, kind of like, I think The Rock, man, he makes it look like this is all about him now. Like, I feel like the end game is getting the title on The Rock. Genuinely, not now, but I think right now Cody will finish his story. But The Rock coming back has kind of taken the spotlight from Cody and Roman, not just Roman. Because when The Rock came back, we're like, oh man, he makes Roman look like Solo to like how Solo is to Roman. That's how Roman looks to The Rock. In my
Yeah.
So Cody finishing his story, I feel like they're just like, well, here's The Rock, Cody. Like, they're not having The Rock beat the shit out of Cody just because of it. They're having a tag match.
No.
He's beating the shit out of, and the promos The Rock is cutting on Instagram, they're like 20 minutes long, and they're personal, they're deep, they're hurtful. He's not saying this because they're having a tag match at WrestleMania on night 1. So he finishes the story, but I think another story picks up, and I think WWE wants a babyface to defend the title on a random Monday Night Raw, and they want Cody is a politician. He could be the face of a company. He's on all the merch. He can shake hands. He can kiss babies, do all that shit. But I think he finishes the story just for the sake of finishing the story. But I think the bigger picture for WWE is The Rock and Roman eventually. I think, you know how Daniel Bryan got his moment and then Kofi got his moment eventually? People get their moments. I think this is just one moment, but there's a much bigger picture. And I think that bigger picture is The Rock. That's just my opinion.
Do you think, with that said, that if we're going to see Roman versus The Rock, does it need to have the title involved?
No, it doesn't. It'd be the cherry on top. I mean, it'd be cool, but do you see? It would just be another situation of, so say The Rock beat Roman. Do you see The Rock wrestling on a SmackDown or a Raw, or he's only going to wrestle on your biggest show, like a Saudi show, or a major PLE. He's not. He would just hold that title hostage. It'd be the same shit.
Yeah.
But I think their bigger picture is I think they see that The Rock sells. The Rock brings everybody in. Like I said, I watched every fucking minute of a 3-hour Monday Night Raw, and I got a goddamn 3-month-old screaming in the bedroom. Like, that doesn't happen. So The Rock, I think they see that The Rock is, again, quote unquote, making wrestling cool again. And Cody will finish his story, but Roman versus Rock, they don't need a title to put on a match. And I don't think that match should happen anytime soon. That should happen at a WrestleMania.
Yeah. How about yourself, Nico? Any thoughts particularly on it, whether it's time for Cody to become the champion?
Yeah, I've always loved Cody. Even when he was Stardust, I loved Cody. But I think the fact that he's won the Royal Rumble, front cover of the 2K24 game, everything's led up to the story being finished at WrestleMania. I think he has to win it. There's no other result that should happen. And I think WWE would be silly to not let him finish it. But yeah, I agree with what Tim said. The Rock and Cody feud is massive. But I do think that Roman and The Rock feud could be a big match. Sort of like who's the head of the bloodline, Roman or The Rock, sort of fighting out for that. But I think there's so many people that can get involved in this match that it could go anywhere. Like families everywhere. You just don't know what's going to happen. But I reckon there's going to be at least 4 interferences in this match. At least.
What do you think the chances are of seeing Dustin Rhodes? Do you think that's a possibility?
Mm-mm.
It doesn't. He's hinted at it on Twitter, but I think it was more sort of tongue in cheek than anything. But
I think that would be the perfect story, but that would mean both companies coming together. And to be honest, if you think about that, that only benefits WWE.
Yeah.
What would they say? They're not going to say AEW's Dustin Rhodes. What does that do? People already know what AEW is. They're not going to go, oh, let me go watch AEW because Dustin Rhodes. Yeah. No, it only benefits WWE.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the one way around it, I suppose, is that if you bring in instead of Dustin Rhodes, the Goldust character, but I can't see them coming to any sort of an agreement. That there often seems to be too much like sort of rivalry as there is. So I just know I can't really see that happening. But
I could see. So I kind of hinted at it in the tag team match where The Rock and Roman are starting to butt heads during the match, and we all know The Rock has an ego. It's not fucking hidden. And the goddamn man's on the board. Like he's the boss. Like he's Triple H's boss, right? Like I think The Rock knows that he has the fucking star power. I think there's a lot of other things that go into the whole Rock situation. I feel like he knows that he's best for business. And so I feel like, but he also knows that Roman, the bloodline story is it's money. I mean, it's sort of run its course. It's hard, man. I think The Rock will cost Roman the match because I think he knows that he's the final boss. And I think the end game is Rock versus Cody. And that's a whole fucking different story. That's a whole different discussion there because who wins that match? You're going to have The Rock lose? No. Like, but then are you going to have Cody lose? Just getting ahead of myself. It's like, I don't know. There's this story can go on for another 2, 3, 4 fucking years.
Well, it's funny you should say that because, I mean, what could we see Cody Rhodes be forced to try and win a third Royal Rumble? I mean, how long are people going to, go with it? Is Cody Rhodes just not meant to be the one to beat Roman Reigns? I mean, do you think there's a possibility that the WWE have had the idea of The Rock Roman being a championship match for so long that they wouldn't budge on letting Roman lose the title? I can honestly see having to wait another year with Roman as the champion.
I wouldn't do. I mean, I wouldn't like it, but I could definitely see them. The Rock. So say we magically just erase The Rock. Okay, I could 100% see Cody winning. 100%. I mean, I did last year, but I was wrong.
Yeah,
but it makes sense. The Rock is above everybody. His star power, literally, it's like a black hole. He just absorbs everybody. I feel like bad timing, man. It was really bad timing to fucking interject himself into like the picture. It's like really bad timing, dude. Like we had it set that it was Cody versus Roman, and then you're fucking just you're levitating around everything. I don't know. It's a tough one. This shit can't go on another year. It can't. People will still watch it, but it's hard.
But then if Cody does win the title, where does he go? Who's he going to feud with? I mean, is this the opportunity to push Gunther into the picture, or are we going to see rematches? Is Roman Reigns going to want to take the title back? Is The Rock going to have something to do with that? Like you said earlier, Tim, is he going to take Roman Reigns' place and say, well, you had your chance, you blew it, it's my turn now. It's certainly exciting. I mean, there's so much potential there. But yeah, I guess only time is going to tell. Should we brave a prediction then? Do you want to go first, Nico?
For me, it's got to be Cody Rhodes to win it. I think they would face a lot of backlash if he didn't win it. But I also don't think it's just The Rock who could intervene with the match against Roman. I think Sikoa has got a little turning streak in him where he might potentially go against Roman as well, because they've been sort of hinting it for a while. He's been pushed back quite a lot in the bloodline, and I think it might be a chance for him to step up as well. But yeah, I think Cody for the win. Babyface all the way.
Cody for the win. Babyface, yeah, all the way. And Tim, what's your final prediction?
I will say that Cody will win, but I came up with this crazy theory that Rock will cost Roman the match, and he will say that he's now the tribal chief. Essentially, they will kick him out of the bloodline. So now you have babyface Roman. Roman will go away for a while. He's not going to be there Monday night. So now you have the sympathy from the crowd, the fans. They say, "Oh, The Rock turned on him. They kicked him out of the bloodline." You have Solo. You have Jimmy. Shit, what if even Jay showed? Like you say, "Hey, can I come back?" I think Cody wins. I think The Rock says, "Fuck you, Roman. Like, you're not worthy. I've been playing you this whole fucking time, dude. You're not worthy. See ya, goodbye. You're not in the bloodline." So now you have that ultimate babyface Roman whenever he does come back. And then that right there, you automatically have Roman versus The Rock. You could have Roman just go through the bloodline just like one at a time. Say Jay comes back, knock Jay out, knock out Jimmy, Solo, and then the final boss, you knock out Roman.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Actually, kind of.
Because what is Roman going to do if he loses? Who's he going to feud with? Is he going to feud with Randy Orton, AJ? I thought about this the other day. There is no going down for Roman. You cannot.
No.
You cannot put him in a tag match. You can't put him in any other title match. He can only he's at the point where it's, you know how Brock Lesnar was like, Brock would just, he was either in the main title picture or he was gone. That's the only path I feel like Roman can do now. He cannot wrestle fucking Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and he needs to be on like a fucking. Remember when they would just bring in Bill Goldberg? They would just fucking bring him in for no fucking reason. Maybe not to that extent, like, because that's like pretty much retired. But I think Roman is just more so going to be that ultra babyface, and I think he's just going to feud with the Bloodline and Cody, and that's it. That's really all. That's all I can picture him doing. I can't see him just wrestling random people for no title. It just makes no sense.
No, I think you're 100% right with that. Yeah, I can't see. It's difficult. I think you're right. I think he's going to have to go away for a bit if he loses the title. Maybe get that match with The Rock out the way. But yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on there. So yeah, I think as well. I think it's time for Cody Rhodes to win the title. I think we need a good babyface champion for a bit. And that's WrestleMania covered. All the matches that we know about. Anyway, obviously we've got Raw tonight. And SmackDown Friday left before, so there may be more matches added to the card. But thank you guys for doing this with me. I've really enjoyed chatting to you, and hopefully all of our predictions are right. That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, be nice.
I would like to thank Nico from Knockout News and Tim from the Squared Circle Hub, and of course you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic WrestleMania weekend.